How you doing today? So today's lesson is I'm going to teach you how your mind works. We're going to take a trip into your mind, show you the facets of your mind, and I'm going to expose to you why you're being lied to and deceived by everyday reality. Are you ready? Get your notepad or note pen or whatever you're going to do, because this video is the video you're going to reference to for how all of this works. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, I teach everybody who comes here spiritual truths, how your mind operates, quantum physics, subconscious mind, how to basically deliberately create your reality through universal laws. And the first step we must understand is, what is reality? So let's begin so you can get a broad aspect. If you're new to this channel, many of you most likely guys know this stuff, but also there are new individuals that are coming every day, and you may be a new person, or you may be an existing member here, and you may not have the full grasp of how this stuff works. So let's make it simple terms for you. What is reality? Reality, my friends, look at it this way. You don't have to create reality. Reality is already created. In quantum terms, there is every single option of reality available to you. There's reality where you're rich, where you're poor, where you're successful, all of that. So look at yourself. I want you to look at yourself right now and think about all the stuff you'd like to do and all the stuff you don't like to do, all the stuff you'd like to happen to you, all the stuff you don't like to happen to you. That exists somewhere out there in what we call parallel spaces or realities, okay? So what reality actually is we use our brains to tune in to a frequency that match that particular reality. So in simplistic terms, reality is not physical or hard. It's a mental construct created through energetic patterns of electromagnetic frequencies and vibrations, which we translate and our brain decodes them as perceived physical stuff. That's what reality is. Next one, the mind. You have three components of the mind. The first part of your mind is housed where your ego lives. That part of your mind has the ability for you to think, to reason, to rationalize. The downside of that part of the mind, though, is it likes to control because it's programmed through fear, lack, and struggle. Where does that program come from? It comes from our beginning, our government, our society, your religion, your parents. Our world, the reality that we've been given or shown, is designed for a fear-based, struggle-based reality. And point blank is designed that way because it needs to control people, and it needs people to be in fear, to be in authority to authority figures. Point blank. So when you come out of the womb, you're already in that program. Takes us now to the second layer of the mind, which is called the critical divide. The critical divide talks to your ego, and then it goes to the third part of the mind, which is the subconscious. So here's a simplistic term. There's a part of your mind that when I think of something that I want, it doesn't go straight to my subconscious. There is a guard. It's called the psychological filter or the critical divide. What the critical divide does, it takes my thought that I want something and it sees if it's true or if my subconscious is in agreement with that. Only if my subconscious is in agreement with that information gets passed on for me to create it. The problem is the critical divide has a lot of bad stuff because it picked up a lot of stuff from when we were kids. So if I want to be wealthy, for example, in my subconscious, I don't have the program of wealth because through my life I've been brought up through struggle and lack. So even though I can consciously free will to think of wealth, and I say to myself, I'd like to be wealthy, the critical divide must take that information and seek approval. Now, it won't go through because my subconscious mind doesn't believe I'm wealthy because it has a different program. So when the critical divide says, hey, this guy wants to be wealthy, this person wants to be happy, whatever it is, if my subconscious is not on point, it will reject that information and I won't get it. But there is a loophole you can use your mind. So there's a trick I can do. I can use my willpower to bypass my critical divide to go to my subconscious mind. So what does that basically do? It basically means I put my energy and I use my subconscious mind by either working hard, by forcing or pushing something, and it will override, it automatically overrides my limiting beliefs temporarily through the critical divide, and then I will get something accomplished. So I can do that. But the issue is when I do that, it doesn't solve the main problem. It means that when I do that, maybe a few months go by, I will go back into self-sabotage and I'll go back to my old pattern. That's because I haven't changed the blueprint. Now this takes us to the subconscious mind, the third layer of my mind, of your mind. Within that part of my mind holds what's called my true beliefs, my deepest desires, the things that I truly want, according to my subconscious, not according to me now. I have two, remember now, I have three minds, conscious, critical, and subconscious. Each mind can operate independently, but they can come together collectively. So while in my conscious mind, I may want happy, wealthy, my subconscious mind has a different game plan, so I get resistance. That's what we call resistance. Next key, resistance. You just heard. So what is resistance? Resistance is my conscious mind wants one thing, and my subconscious mind wants the opposite. They're fighting each other, and I set up resistance. I push away what I desire. Got that? Let's go back to the subconscious mind now. In the subconscious mind, I can change the program. My subconscious mind has what's called a map of reality. So does my conscious mind. In the map of reality in my subconscious mind has everything that I picked up from when I was a baby and a kid. It says my parents. And it thinks that's my world. My subconscious mind cannot think. It just sees a program. So I have to go in and change the program. Once I change the program of my subconscious blueprint, that's when my world starts to change. I can change this program of my subconscious blueprint in many ways. I can use subliminals, I can use auto-hypnosis, I can use self-hypnosis, I can do hypnotherapy, I can do affirmations, I can expose myself to new empowering things, I can get out of my comfort zone. Those are ways that I change, or you can change the blueprint of your subconscious. Now, about the other aspect of reality, the matrix, how they lie to you. So what happens is you have been secretly conditioned through your subconscious mind to focus on what you don't want. And this is deliberately programmed through your television, through your government, through your churches or whatever, through religion. And it does that because the entirety, or what we would say the smart, or the people on top, if you want to call them that, but they're individuals that know the laws of the universe. They know quantum mechanics, they know how the mind works. They basically know that we are all co-creators. And if they can put something where everyone can think the same thing, then they can create the reality that they want. So we are secretly creating a reality that we don't want based on programs through our television, through the mainstream media. They're secretly programming you. And then we are thinking on a collective level, and we are creating the very thing that we don't want. Hence, this is why the news is so much negative news. You never can turn the news on and see positive news. The news must always be negative, because negative news puts us in a state of flight or fear. It raises our cortisol level, which puts us to be undecisive, and we send out a lot of vibration and frequency out, which perpetrates and help to keep you under control. Do you see how that works? Now, within the mind, we have three minds, but now we go to the next level. There's the ultimate mind, which is called the superconscious, or the collective consciousness of minds. That is your mind, my mind, every single mind in the entire universe pulled together in one part. They call it superconscious, people call it Akashic record parts, whatever it is. But that mind of God, you can get every information that you want to create your life by design. Above the superconscious mind is even a higher realm. That is your higher self. It's called your authentic self. You exist here as a 3D project or perception. The true you is interdimensional. It communicates to you by accessing your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind sends it to your conscious mind. Your conscious mind now starts to put things together, and we create our world. So the secret is, if you want to really change the game, you have to know to access your higher self and use your higher self to help you, because that's what it's there for. But that's just a brief lesson, and I'll do another part series on this, and to show you how the higher self works and what's the benefits and what you can do and how you can create and how your life can change miraculously by imparting and connecting and using your higher self in your daily life. But for now, this is the video that you must watch and listen.